All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Society of Government Meeting Professionals November 28th meeting. We have some people in person and some virtual, and we have some we know that are on the way to probably both. Yes, someone's walking in right now. But tonight is going to be fun. It's going to be a volunteer event, which I'm super excited about. And while we're waiting, I thought it would be a great time. We are live streaming on Facebook on the SGMP side, just our little group, okay, just our little page. So don't worry, it's not like to the whole world. It's not like on my, I know, like, okay. But I did want to kind of, last week was Thanksgiving. So I wanted to kind of go around, have everyone say who you are, what you do, and what you're thankful for. Okay. And not only was last week Thanksgiving, but we are at Second Harvest of the Big Bend. And I think we probably all have a lot to be thankful for, right? So, okay, so let's begin with Latrell.
I knew you were going to pick me first, but that's okay.
I mean,
that's all right. No, that's okay. I don't mind going first. I just felt it in my spirit, though.
Well, it was your spirit that called to me.
Good. So my name is Latrell Hardwick. I'm the secretary for SGMP, Florida, North Florida.
No, Florida Capital Chapter.
Oh my God, I gave us like 3 different names.
You did.
Florida Capital Chapter. I am most thankful for my family, good friends, and really good food on Thanksgiving.
Okay. Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stephen, let's go to you next. Who you are, what you do, and at least one thing you're thankful for.
All right, thanks. I'm Stephen Hall. Professionally, I work for the Florida State Court System, and I oversee a number of meetings and events and review and approve all hotel and meeting contracts. I'm the chapter's immediate past president. I am thankful for all of you all, but also my family and friends who have been great. We've had a couple of friends who unfortunately have lost parents this year. So it's been a rough year, but we've all gathered around each other to give that support. And I'm glad to see that that we've been able to do that for them.
Yeah. Let's go in first and see what first here in person.
My name is Tammy Elliott, and I work over at Florida State University at the Florida Virtual Campus Department. I am a senior administrative and events coordinator there, and this is my second go around with SGMP with this particular chapter. I was a member previously, but I left FLBC back in 2019 and just came back to basically my old position earlier this year. And so I'm glad to be back and joining the chapter. And in terms of what I'm thankful for, I'm really thankful for my family that is still around, that I can still talk to. I've also lost some family members this year, so I'm thankful for the ones that are left. I'm really thankful for really good friends, and like Latrell, thankful for good food as well.
Yes, very good. All right, let's go to I'll take the bag here. Yeah, we brought donations. Hey.
Hello, everyone. I'm Amy Hillman. I am the National Sales Executive for Drury Hotels for the state of Florida government market. And there's so much to be thankful for. One of the things is our hotel is ahead of schedule. We're planning on opening December 19th. So we were just talking, we're going to have a grand opening probably the mid to end of March. I'll let everyone know and keep you all posted about that. But as far as down and dirty, what I'm thankful for, I have a daughter who's a sophomore in college, and I'm just so thankful. She's independent. She's a problem solver. She's spicy, and I love that she turned out that way. So I'm happy to see she's a successful, strong woman. So
I'm sure it's
and food.
Yes,
and food.
I'm sure it has something. I'm sure it has something to do with the way you've raised her.
Oh,
all right.
Hi, I am Sharon Barnes. I am a business consultant at the Florida Small Business Development Center at FAMU. And I am thankful for my granddaughters that I am going to get to see, one for the very first time in person. In December. I'll actually be flying out on the 19th.
Oh,
From right across the street.
Yes, so I'll be up there for a few weeks. Oh, by the way, she lives in Alaska.
Oh, wow.
So that's where I'm headed.
That's wonderful.
And that's what I'm
Alaska in the wintertime sounds awesome. Just
thankful.
kidding, just kidding.
Thank you. 'Cause I'm like,
You'll be warm with the grandkids.
yes.
Okay, well, that's great.
Hi, everybody. I'm Janet Roach with Visit Tallahassee, and so is what I'm thankful for. I'm just like everybody else, I'm thankful for our families. I actually just returned from a few days off, and so I was thankful that I was able to take a few days off with my family and just, take a little bit of relaxation. So back into the swing of things, but it's really been good.
Awesome.
Okay. Oh, me?
Yes,
Okay,
you.
hi, I'm Kristie Teal and I work here at Second Harvest of the Big Bend. Been with the organization about 8 months. And as well, I am so thankful for family. I have one freshman in college daughter and an 8th grade son, and just super proud to be their mom and thankful to be their mom. So,
Awesome. And Kristie and I know each other from.
yeah.
How do we know each other? I know, it's a long time ago. Anyway, super happy to see you here.
Yeah.
And hi.
I'm Lauren Molinax. I'm a healing musician and I'm thankful for the community around us.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yay.
I know your mom.
Oh, you do?
Really?
My nurse.
Yeah. That's
It's such a small world. I always say that Tallahassee has 2 degrees of separation, not 6 degrees of separation. Yeah, that's so wild. Okay, anyway, I'm Gabrielle Gabrielli. I am the president of Society of Government Meeting Professionals Florida Capital Chapter. And I am really happy that each of you is here. I know it's a busy time. Last week was Thanksgiving. We're now going into the December holidays. It's just, everyone's just got so much on their plate, literally and figuratively. I'm thankful for there's nothing I'm not thankful for. I'm even thankful for the pain, and so tomorrow I go to the Mayo Clinic and immunocompromised, which is why I'm wearing the mask. But I'm thankful that I'm here. I'm thankful for every day. Every day's a gift, even the tough ones. And I'm thankful for this agency because Second Harvest of the Big Bend does amazing things for our community. Many of you know that I lived in poverty growing up, and we didn't have food and we didn't have a food bank. And so we didn't have these kinds of resources. And I'm just so grateful for what you're doing here in the community. So yeah. And thank you to everybody tonight who brought food as well. And no problem if you didn't. Latrell, can you hear us better? I'll pass the laptop around. So, okay. So when you're speaking, I'm going to go ahead and bring the laptop down toward you so the people at a distance can hear. And I think sometimes what it is when we go Facebook Live at the same time that the audio is a little more stifled.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So. All right.
Hi.
And I'm going to
So-
go ahead and do this.
Yep. So I'm going to get started and I'm going to fly through some of these quickly because I don't want to take so much time. So, but if you have questions at any point, obviously I'll stop at the end and ask, but also just shout out if you have questions as I'm going through this information. So first of all, thank you so much for being here and coming all this way out near the airport for Second Harvest and for bringing the food donations tonight. We're thrilled to have you. So I like to get started by just, and I don't know, how many of you have been here before Second Harvest? Okay, just one. So sorry if you hear information you already know. So we are part of what is called Feeding America. That's kind of the national organization that we fall under. What's wonderful about that is all those little dots on that map are Feeding America food banks across the country. So great thing about being part of a big national organization is we can have great collaboration. I actually just recently got to go to a conference in Chicago with 10 to 12 other food banks to talk about our fundraising and development plan. So the collaboration is absolutely amazing. They also hold us to standards. So we have a lot of strict rules about food safety and what we can give and how we can give it. And that's all part of being that national organization. They also help us with partnerships, obviously at a national level. And some of those filter down. So in addition to Feeding America, there's Feeding Florida. So again, they help us with advocacy and legislation, and helping getting dollars through the legislative process. So these are the Feeding America food banks in the state of Florida up on that screen. Great to have partners. So understanding the need, obviously the food bank is here for a reason, and it's because there are people in need. So these numbers are the percentage of households living in poverty in these various counties. So we serve 16 counties, basically from Mariana to Lake City. And I'll show you a map of that shortly. And the federal poverty guidelines, and this always baffles me, it doesn't change based on where you live, so it's if a family of 4 is making more than $27,750, they're not living in poverty, according to the federal guidelines.
Wow.
So obviously Leon County, 16% are living in poverty, and some of the other counties that we serve are even higher than that. But even more staggering numbers that I like to share, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the ALICE report from the United Way. People heard of the ALICE report? So ALICE stands for Asset Limited, Income Constrained, Employed, basically the working poor. So people that are working and employed and have a job, but their pay is so low, living check to check. Okay, that they're living check to check. So when we include households living in poverty, plus in that ALICE, and the ALICE, if you think about it, that's people that one major hospitalization, one major car repair, something like that. And then they're deciding what they can pay for, right? Can I pay my rent? Can I pay groceries? Can I pay my light bill? So 51%, I get chills every time I say it out loud, truthfully, y'all, 51% of Leon County are in this ALICE or under population. And obviously you can see some of our other counties, Gadsden County, 64%. So these numbers are staggering and really show why the food bank and what we do is important, because if we can provide food to a family, then the money they would have spent on those groceries can pay the light bill or something else, that they need. So that's where we try to help out with these people that are in these populations.
Where does that fall within the national average?
I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't know the answer to that. I do know when you look at the state of Florida, our 16 counties that we serve, this North Florida region is the greatest need in the state of Florida.
I don't know what the numbers are, but I mean, they just seem staggering.
Yeah. So North Florida, like if you were to look at kind of like a hotspot map of the state of Florida, this region that we serve is some of the most in need.
And it says the state average is 32%. So we're definitely like not nearly as good.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'll
look it up already.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So obviously we all know the impacts of hunger. If a child goes to school and they haven't eaten, they can't focus as well. There can be cognitive and physical development issues, 0 to 3, if they're not getting proper nutrition, person's physical, emotional, and social preparedness for the workforce, and then health. We've actually started something recently called Harvesting Health, where we're talking about not only giving food to people, but making sure it's nutritionally dense food, because that matters in trying to help keep people healthy as well. This is our 16 county service area. So it was in January of this year that they added the 5 counties to the east. So serving 16 counties is a lot. And that's a wide area. And again, this tends to be the area with the greatest need in the state. So we cover that whole area, and we have over 140 partner agencies. So people don't come here to get food. We distribute to partner agencies. So schools, churches, community centers, all have pantries. And so we're getting food to them. So they can order food from us. It's severely discounted because we have some programs that give food, and I'll talk about where we source food. But so we couldn't do this, especially as you see in our large service area, without these partner agencies. Again, churches, schools, community centers, different places where they have food pantries. For from sourcing to distribution. So people here at Second Harvest, we have our food resource manager, identifies and orders food. So we get discounted food we can buy in bulk, obviously. So we get a lot better pricing than going to Publix or even Costco or Sam's, because we can buy in bulk. Logistic department. So if you can imagine, before I started here, and I had volunteered here, but I couldn't imagine like the logistics of getting all this food in, the trucks coming in, storing it, shelving it, keeping it food safe, then getting it out to the partner agencies. The logistics here are crazy between trucks and warehouse space and coolers and freezers. It's a lot. Obviously, warehouse department receives and processes food. Volunteers sort donated food, and you're going to do a little bit of that tonight. And they help pack donated food and purchase food. And then the food's distributed out to the community. Where does our food come from? Obviously, donations that you're bringing tonight. That was the other thing I wasn't aware of before I started here. I'm thinking, okay, I clean out my pantry, when somebody says they're doing a food drive and it's random things, right? It's a can of soup, it's 2 cans of beans, it's a bag of lentils. How is that getting to people? Well, again, you're going to see tonight because you're going to sort it. It gets to people. So we take all those food drive donations, the donations you brought tonight, they get sorted into categories. And again, you'll be doing this. So you'll see breakfast, snacks, drinks, food, and then it gets reboxed by other volunteers in boxes that make sense, meals and a mix of fruits and veggies and pasta and all those things. So you'll see that tonight a little bit. And our volunteers here at Second Harvest equal 11 full-time employees per month. So we could not do this without volunteers. I mean, we really couldn't do it. So donations that we get, we have some contracts with the United States Department of Agriculture, donations from retail grocers. Our trucks make routes to Sam's, Costco's, Aldi's, all the places, Trader Joe's, Publix, and pick up stuff that they can't sell for whatever reason. It's not necessarily expired food. It typically is not expired food. It's just things they can't sell for whatever reason. And we get it and we get it out to our partner agencies. So our trucks are also doing routes to all of our retail partners every week. Donations from local restaurants. We don't do a lot of the hot food giving out here, but sometimes our trucks will pick up and take directly like to the Kearney Center or one of the homeless shelters. And then individual donations. Talked a little bit about our partner agencies. So what's great is on our website by county, you can see where these partner agencies are, who the contact is, what days they're open, when they're open. So we often get lots of calls or people not realizing they don't come here for food or don't contact us, and we'll refer them to fightinghunger.org is the website. So if anybody asks, easy to remember, and they can search by their county, again, where are these pantries and what days and hours they're open. So in 2022, Second Harvest distributed over 14 million pounds of food, which I always think pounds of food, like that's a lot of food. But after, and these are just numbers to see, we're also part of the state's emergency response team. So like after Hurricane Idalia, we jumped into action, especially the counties that were hit harder that are in our service area, Madison, Taylor, some of those other counties. So after Hurricane Idalia made landfall, we distributed over 950,000 pounds of food in just 2 weeks.
Wow.
And we have about 55 employees. And during those 2 weeks, it was all hands on deck. There was days we had 4 distributions happening. And so everyone that works here, doesn't matter what your role is, we were out at the distributions, unloading water and ice and the MREs and all the things that we were handing out after the hurricane. So it was sad, but pretty exciting to get to jump into action. How you can get involved, again, as I mentioned, volunteers, we cannot exist or do what we do without volunteers. There's about 2 shifts every day of the week. We also have a garden in Monticello called Lott's Garden, where we literally plant and harvest and give out the produce from there. One of the facts that made me so happy when I first started working here, currently we're giving out over 40%, it's like varies a little bit, like 42 to 45% fresh produce as far as product, which we're so proud of. And Monique, our CEO, her goal is to get to be 50-50.
Awesome.
So
I cycle by that garden all the time.
oh, by Lott's Garden. Yeah. So there's Saturday shifts. There's a shift this Saturday at Lott's Garden, and there'll be I think they're harvesting some greens. I think I heard that there's some collard greens that need to be harvested. So so that's exciting. Obviously, you can host a food drive at your business or church or any civic organization you belong to. And obviously funds. We can turn every $10 donation into 40 meals. It's that we can buy in bulk. So the dollars go a lot further. Future second harvest. So there's some very exciting things happening around here. So a lot of food banks struggle with getting enough protein to people. If you think of protein, it's harder to keep and maintain. And a lot of the food pantries don't always have freezers. We also were having to say no to Tyson Chicken is just over the border in Georgia. And Monique tells the story that they'd call her and say, we have 5 pallets of frozen chicken. The stores decline them because there was a dent in the box. And if there's a dent in the box, they can't take it. There's nothing wrong with the chicken, like nothing happened, but they have certain rules. So they were saying, Monique, can you take it? Well, these are 50 and 60 pound boxes of frozen chicken. We can't give a family a 50 pound, box of frozen chicken. So we have now created a room, the protein hub, where we can break those giant boxes down into more individual size servings that we can then get out to our partner agencies and they can give to families. So we don't have to say no anymore. Now, there was lots of hoops to jump through for that. As you can imagine, you're dealing with raw meat and packaging it. So if you saw a spot outside, it says USDA reserved. That's because we have a conditional permit basically to begin doing this. In fact, they're waiting on some other parts and pieces right now, I think. So we kind of started on a small scale. Now we're waiting for some more things and we'll be able to do it. But this is a huge game changer. And the next closest Feeding America protein hub is in Tennessee. So we will be a protein hub for the Southeast right here at our food bank in Tallahassee. So we are very proud and excited about that. We're also working on, and construction is happening right now. When we go back in the warehouse, you'll see where they're doing the construction on a produce bulk repacking. So, when you go to Publix or one of our favorite grocery stores and they have the veggies cut, chopped, sliced, diced, and repackaged, it also expands the life of that produce a little bit. If it can be cut or chopped and then repackaged, vacuum sealed. So we are working on creating a produce repacking area to try to extend the life, and for our neighbors that we're providing food for, make it a little easier for them as well. So that is under construction right now. We also are super excited. So many wonderful things, y'all. Publix assisted us or purchased this, we call it our mobile market. So it's a trailer, looks just like that. You usually would see it parked out front, but it needed some repairs, so it's not here today. But we can take this into communities where there's not as good of transportation or where people can't get, to the churches or the mobile market. So we can take this to people. And what's lovely is it's a choice market. So we'll put the fresh produce, we usually put some breads, and at the end there's freezers, and people can pick and choose what they want. So they can walk through this, there's stairs on the right side, and they walk through, they can pick what they want. We give them grocery bags, they get what they want, and then they can go. I've done 2 of these mobile markets here at the Lincoln Neighborhood Center here in Tallahassee, and we had butternut squash. I found it so interesting that the people, like we would have staff help carry bags, and hold it for people as they go through and select what they want. And people would get to the butternut, well, I don't know what that squash is and I don't know how to cook it. Well, we also do SNAP and nutrition education. So I said, oh, wait a minute, when you get off this trailer, the guy under the tent right there has a recipe for butternut squash, and it shows you how to cook it and what to cook it. And I'm going to tell you, once you eat it, it is delicious. I saw you say, and I said, and you will love it. I talked everybody that walked through with me into butternut squash.
You are.
So this is just a great option because it's a choice pantry. It lets people pick what they want, but we can also use it to educate people and have the produce available on the mobile market. And there's some communities, like some of our 5 new counties on that eastern side are very rural, and the grocery stores or any kind of stores are super limited, and many of the stores there don't have fresh produce. So this is an option where we can take that into those communities. Another exciting thing, we have one at Sable Palm Elementary, and we're working on getting one at the Jefferson Health Department. These are called our 24/7 grocery lockers. So these are refrigerated lockers, so people can order the food that they want, and then they can get a code from the health department or the school, and they can come and get it when they want. What's lovely about this is some people, it really becomes a dignity thing, to wait in line or have to look at somebody about needing to pick up food. And this takes that piece out because they can order online and they get a code and they can pick it up when they want. They don't have to be face to face with anyone, but the food can be made available to them. So again, there's one at Sable Palm Elementary right now. And we're hoping to expand and get some more of these, but they are not inexpensive. I will just tell you that. They're very expensive to purchase, get all the utilities set up to it, as you can imagine, and then to keep it running. But it's a great option. Obviously we have school market program. So in many of our schools, I think there's 17 in Leon County have food pantries. And again, they're choice pantries. So students and or their families can come in and choose the things they want. We have currently, but we're working on kind of sunsetting it, the backpack program, which was kids would get bags sent home with them on Friday to sustain them through the weekend. But we wanted to do more holistically addressing the family's needs, because that backpack program was really food for that child. So we feel like moving to the school pantries and school markets, then it addresses more wholly the whole family, and not just providing just for that one child. Because I think some of the feedback we got was it was food for just that child, and then it was being spread so thin because everyone in the family.
Can the child go and get food on behalf of the family?
Mhm,
I was
mhm.
just wondering if.
Yeah, and I'm not super familiar, just anecdotally, Molly that helps run a lot of our school programs has shared with me that, middle and high schools, you can imagine, they don't want to go. They don't want to be seen going in there. They don't want to be seen coming out of there. So it's hard.
I was wondering if the backpack thing might actually.
Yeah.
So my question, so is this limited to certain kids or?
It's whoever says that they need food. Yeah, a lot of people ask me that too. Like, so when we just did our Thanksgiving distribution where we did one here in Tallahassee at Governor Square Mall, and one in Perry, because they've been especially hit with not only the hurricane, but the mill closing there and so many people out of work. There's a lot of people struggling there. So it was the first time Second Harvest did a Thanksgiving turkey distribution there as well. We gave out 1,000 turkeys, box of dry goods, which included like stuffing, mac and cheese, canned green beans, all that stuff. And then 3 bags of produce, which included cabbage, zucchini, apples, oranges, there might have been some other stuff in there too, but they got 3 bags of produce. So we gave 1,000 of the turkeys, dry goods, and produce to 1,000 families in Tallahassee and another 1,000 families in Perry in Taylor County. And when we went, the distribution was supposed to start at 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning in Tallahassee. When our team got there at 4 a.m. to set up, there was already a line of over 30 cars. And the mall security person told one of our staff that 3 of the cars had gotten there at midnight.
Oh, wow.
To line up, and we turned away over 200 cars in Tallahassee.
That's really sad.
I said I did not want the job anymore of being the one going to the cars and telling them we didn't have any more food, because that was, there was one, so I did have that job, unfortunately, with some of our team members, and one woman, she was certainly elderly. I would say definitely 70s or older. And I said, I'm really sorry, I'm coming with some unfortunate news. Some of our pantries still have some food, so please, go to the website and find one that's near you. And she said, but I've been waiting for well over an hour. And I said, I know, I'm so sorry.
There's also other programs, for seniors that can help too. Meals on Wheels, on elder care.
Yeah. I think she was she said I was looking for Thanksgiving food for my family. So it's heartbreaking, y'all. Over 200 cars we had to turn away. In Perry, it wasn't quite as bad. We started distributing at 3 o'clock. When we got there at 12:30, there was a line 2 miles down the road already at 12:30. Wow. And we were out of food by about 5:20. And then there were still a few cars coming in, but not nearly as many turned away as we unfortunately had to in Tallahassee. So That's my,
I think we asked throughout, but
any other questions?
Yeah, so this is just a general kind of speculation.
Yes.
Question. So in your opinion, and with all the services that you all provide and all of the connections that you guys have, what in your opinion is the main reason why we still have people and kids that are hungry? If we're getting the food and we're getting the donations, what's preventing the foods from getting to some of the
There's just not
population?
enough. The need is so great. Like when you see those numbers of 51% of Leon County
Mhm.
living in that poverty or Alice population,
Yeah.
there's just not enough.
Yeah.
There's just not enough.
Well, and you can give someone food one time, but if their paycheck doesn't cover the food the next time, they would have to keep coming back.
Well, and many people I know have medical challenges as well. And so I have neighbors, for example, who I call the working poor. They're, both work, but they have major medical challenges and they can't afford food. So I do everything I can to bring food to them, because there are many people, your neighbors, probably people in this room even, who struggle with making ends meet because they have not enough wage to pay for the necessities.
Yeah, you said medical concerns
Yeah.
or, daycare or all
Yeah.
these other things do weigh into.
Because if you think of 51% of Leon County at some point probably needing food, like if they're in that Alice or poverty population, at some point during the year, they probably need some assistance with food. We're giving out 1,000 turkeys. What's the population of Leon County?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
200 and something thousand.
Exactly.
So, and I did look it up because the question was what's the federal Alice level? And you can skip 2 slides ahead because we did the introductions already. But 13% nationally, and this was 2021, which I'm assuming was the last data that came out. 2021, 13% were below the federal poverty line. 29% were Alice and 41% were below the Alice threshold. So pretty bad, nationally even too.
When I was here recently for another presentation and we talked about during that, it was with the Chamber of Commerce. So we were talking more, a little more community wide, business development. But one of the things that we were talking about is, the Alice line and the poverty line are super low. Really someone who's not making, that's, $20,000 is not really a living wage. And so the number, that threshold is very, very low. And so, so people, with a paycheck of, 35 or 40,000 may have also, times where they are struggling to pay their bills and food as well, even though, because you don't know what the situation is, what their daycare situation is, or what
Yeah.
their, whatever.
27,000 for a family of 4.
Yeah, 27,000 for a family of 4 is pretty sad.
I have a question. So I know like if you're
Okay.
in a scarcity mindset, right? People normally kind of cling on and want more and more. So do y'all have something in like place, like a program or something that sees if people are overtaking and taking advantage of the system here?
We don't. So most of our food pantries, there's a senior program we do called CSFP, and they do have to financially qualify that. That's for, again, seniors, and they have to qualify, and there's a waiting list for all of the CSFP programs in our service area. But no, the mindset of our food bank is if people come and say they need food, we're providing food.
Generally speaking, people who come and say they need food.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and they're managed by, people are managing each of those facilities, the pantries, and then they would know, oh, you come every week and, we're gonna help you with your bag this time, so that happens in every business,
Yeah.
any other people.
Yeah, so I did want to very briefly go before we start volunteering. And is it okay if I bring we're doing live streaming. Is it okay if I bring this into the volunteer area? Okay, awesome. That way the people at a distance can see what we're doing. But what I did want to do is very briefly touch on corporate social responsibility. And so yes, let's just do that really quickly. And so, whoops. Okay. So by the end of the session, you should be able to define corporate social responsibility, discuss the 4 pillars of CSR, explain potential strategic benefits of CSR to people and organizations, and then develop an action plan to improve CSR. So the definition of corporate social responsibility is essentially that it's an ethical and strategic commitment of an organization to operate in a way that best serves its community. And I'm sure you have people who very much believe in CSR who help your organization, right? So
We have companies that volunteer regularly. like
Perfect.
They have a monthly.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So it considers impact of an organization's actions on society and the environment beyond just its primary function. And it goes well beyond legal requirements to help positively contribute to the well-being of communities, of stakeholders, and even the environment. And it's often seen as a strategic decision that positively impacts reputation, relationships with stakeholders, sustainability, and long-term viability. So it is something that's gaining popularity, and it's something that is really important to the way that we operate, knowing all these needs are out there, especially. So the 4 pillars of CSR are environmental, workplace, community, and philanthropic. And you can see, you know, what kinds of things are in each of those. So which one would the food bank fall into? And community, yeah.
Mhm. Did someone say something other than community?
Steve, is your audio on? Yeah, philanthropic as well. Somebody's audio's on. We're hearing like a background noise, so at a distance. But yeah, so it would fall into community and philanthropic. So yeah, and there are many, many benefits, and this is just a summary of the benefits of CSR. But you know, essentially anything that you can think of would be a benefit. You know, for example, with Drury, do you have a CSR mission as
Oh
well?
my goodness, yes.
So that's awesome. So
Not only corporate wide, but
Yeah.
each hotel.
perfect. So can you tell us, do any of these resonate with you, and which ones are most important to your company?
I mean, I think I was just kind of skipping through them, but
Yeah.
there's so much. The one thing that kind of stood out to me is Drury's a family owned company, so they're not interested in the big, you know, like the media interest and
Yeah.
good reputation part of it. They're more interested in people helping people. And so while some of these really make sense, some of them, that's not their first thought.
Yes, I agree.
So,
Awesome.
but definitely they really are just about, they've been fortunate and they want to spread that good
Yeah.
fortune.
Does anyone else here have a CSR mission in your organization? No?
I mean, we have more of a community and volunteer program being we're employed by the county.
Mhm.
And so I work in tourism for Visit Tallahassee, but we're a department of the county. So, within the community, there's constantly opportunities to be involved and to give back. And, so we're a lot of times the ones giving or coordinating programs to give back to community. And we volunteer for those.
That's great.
And obviously there's health programs and other things too, but yeah.
Excellent. All right. So just to kind of wrap up with this a little bit, a well-designed corporate social responsibility. This is a great little infographic, but and many of the people in this organization are not revenue-based, especially the people working in government and that kind of thing, but it can increase revenue by as much as 20%. Increase employee productivity, which is obviously super important, by 13%, reduce turnover by 50%, and increase employee engagement by 7.5%. So these are, important things to consider. So let me just end with, what can you do as an individual or an organization to improve your corporate social responsibility? What can we all do? Any thoughts before we move on to the next portion of our volunteering, where we're actually going to roll up our sleeves? Yeah.
This is, talked about why we thought this was an important topic. One, for meetings and events, I think that, giving back to a community. If you hold a meeting or a conference, in a different town, it's nice to give back to that community. And so many conferences and events do that. But even within your own community, being able, like tonight, be here and feel like you're making a difference and really, it makes a difference to give back. And so, and how you feel, and then also just who it impacts, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's why that's important. And, from a Visit Tallahassee standpoint, conferences or events will come to town and they'll say, we want to do something while we're in town. Last year, we had a cross-country team. It was a national championship, and they were college students from across the country. And while they were in town, we actually had them go to an elementary school because they wanted to give back. Now, they were runners, so obviously we're going to get something that fits their, interest. But we worked with Leon County Schools for them to go into a school and do PE type programs with the students. And so, meaning that, so Visit Tallahassee, or, when you're coming into into a town, you want to give back. And so if someone says, hey, I'm here for a meeting and we want to, feeding people, or, we're partnered with Feeding America, we want to give back. How can we do that? And so, I think that's how it works with my, this to me fits right into what I do day in, day out. And obviously that's not an everyday ask, but it is an occasional ask. People say, what can I do while I'm there? And I'm sure you get those kind of questions all the time. Businesses or events want to, how can we give back? Can we collect items? Can we, whatever it is. So, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. We are going to go check out our volunteer opportunity. Kristie, do you want to tell us about what we're going to be doing?
Yes, so as I mentioned a little bit briefly, we're going to be sorting food. So we are going to be like the donations that you're bringing today, but first we're going to carry those donations back because we're going to put them on the scale and show you that we actually weigh donations that come in. That's how we know we given out 14 million pounds food. We do a lot of weighing around here. So we're going to weigh those, and then we're going to go to our sorting room. So there's boxes of donated food items that are all mismatched, and we're going to sort them into bins per category. So once we get back there, I'll give a little more detailed instruction about what's acceptable, what's not. We do have, there's one trash can, some things that have to be thrown away, sadly, and I'll explain all the details of that. And then we have the pigs trash can. So I will tell you that when it's food that we cannot keep, it goes in the pigs trash can. And literally there is a hog farmer that comes here every other day.
Wow.
And gets these
Hey,
food items.
Getting to eat it. That's awesome.
So I'm pretty proud of that too. We
Yeah.
think that's exciting. So no, and he comes every other day, the hog
That's
farmer,
great.
and picks up the pig trash bins. So and I'll again explain what would go where. So we'll head back and start sorting.
Sounds great.
And I got gloves and
I forgot mine.
so if you have food donations, then you can carry them back with us.
Are we coming back to the room?
Back there.
We can certainly.
Yeah, let's come back to the room if you don't mind. Okay.
Yep, and we're basically the only ones here. My boss is here, and I think that's it. I don't know if
Awesome.
Are there?
So live streaming.
Welcome back. How many people do you have?
If anyone needs a restroom, the restroom is right here.
How many?
So if anybody needs a bathroom,
And
right
please,
there.
give me my card. You just shoot me an email, or you have your card and I can look in. Yeah. Afterwards, we'll just. But I don't think that's an issue. I mean, maybe.
Beautiful.
Okay.
So then they can tell me now.
Come on in,
I'm
this
not
is
funny.
the warehouse. Come on in. All right, so first, any food donations, let's put them on this scale right here. And I'm gonna write down.
All right. So we are putting food on the scale. Food donations.
We'll just exchange.
All right.
Okay.
So what do we have? 32 pounds? Awesome. And we're gonna leave it right there for now, but I'm gonna write down 32 pounds. Awesome. Okay, follow me. This is like holding area, so.
What flowers? I'm curious about this. What's the fresh flowers for?
So we get donations again from our retail partners. I don't know where those exactly came from, but what will happen is our partner agencies get a list of items that we got donated in, and so they can request them. So these will probably go out to some of our partner agencies. Because we do get some non-food items.
Yeah.
We prefer food items,
Right.
but occasionally we get non-food items. Y'all come back in here.
Yeah.
There are gloves right here on the wall.
Everyone gloves?
Grab a pair of gloves.
Everybody get gloves? Let's see what size is that, extra large,
Grab
small.
some gloves.
Hey, Gabrielle, there's sunflowers in there.
Really?
Those always make me think of you.
Aw,
That's
thank
my
you.
thing.
That's my thing. Sunflowers are my thing for anyone who doesn't know. Oh, I got more here. Here.
Thank you.
Okay.
You want me to hold that?
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'll prop it somewhere.
And I'm gonna
Oh, there's
go-
only
Oh, I
two.
only got
Okay, right.
Sorry. Thought I got 4.
Okay, so I'll set it right here. Perfect.
All right. This is quite a huge area we're in right now.
Through that blue roll-up door is actually our cooler, like a refrigerated area. So it's a large refrigerated area. That's where I'm gonna go get the pig trash can from in just a minute. And then behind that is our freezer, which is just about as big as this. So the
Wow.
cooler is about this big and the freezer is about this big.
And where is the area you were talking about before that you're staging stuff in, the protein place?
Oh, the protein room is over here. It's behind the